Saturday mornings were my escape. No emails, no HOA notices taped to my mailbox, no drama. Just me, a cup of coffee, and the growl of my bright red ATV. I'd bought it after years of saving. It wasn't just a toy. It was freedom on 4 wheels. The sun was just rising, painting the sky with streaks of gold as I hosed down the mud from yesterday's ride. The engine gleamed, spotless and ready. I parked it carefully behind my shed, locked it up, and went inside to fix myself some breakfast. 20 minutes later, I walked back outside and froze. The ATV was gone. At first, I thought I was losing it. I checked the garage, the side yard, even behind the old oak tree. Nothing. The chain and lock I'd put around it were lying on the grass, snapped clean in half. Someone had stolen it. A surge of disbelief hit me first, then anger. I scanned the ground, fresh tire tracks carved right through the dew-covered grass, leading toward the cul-de-sac at the end of the road, toward her house, Karen's house. If you've ever dealt with an HOA Karen, you know the type. Perfect lawn, binoculars in the window, and the personality of a tax audit. She was the self-proclaimed queen of our community, president of the HOA, and self-appointed judge of everyone's business. And her daughter, Chloe, was a carbon copy, entitled, loud, and spoiled beyond reason. The kind of girl who'd never faced a single real consequence in her life. I followed the tire tracks down the street, heart pounding with each step. The closer I got, the louder the sound of laughter and revving echoed. Then I saw it. My ATV, parked in Karen's driveway, covered in mud, one of the side mirrors cracked. And sitting on it, hair blowing, sunglasses on, was Chloe, laughing with her friends like she was starring in her own action movie. I walked up calmly, or at least I tried to. "Excuse me," I said, voice tight. "That's my ATV." She turned, tilted her head, and smirked. "Oh, relax. I was just borrowing it." "Borrowing?" I gestured at the broken lock still hanging from the frame. "You broke it!" She shrugged. "You shouldn't have left it where people can see it. Besides, I just wanted to ride for a bit. You should be grateful I didn't crash it." My jaw clenched. Before I could reply, the front door opened, and out stepped Karen, holding her iced coffee like she owned the morning. "Is there a problem?" she asked, feigning innocence. "Yeah," I said sharply. "Your daughter stole my ATV." Karen's perfectly painted eyebrows rose. "Oh, don't be ridiculous. She didn't steal it. She borrowed it. She's just a kid." "She's 17, I said, old enough to know better. Karen waved her hand like she was dismissing a waiter. "She was just having fun. You're being dramatic." "Fun?" I snapped. "Breaking a lock and taking something that doesn't belong to her isn't fun. It's theft." Chloe rolled her eyes. "You're seriously freaking out over this?" "Chill. I said I was going to bring it back." That smug tone, that casual arrogance, lit a fuse in me. I took a deep breath. "You're lucky I didn't call the police already." Karen froze for a second before recovering her composure. "You wouldn't dare," she said. "Oh, I would." I pulled my phone out of my pocket. "Right now, in fact." Karen stepped forward, lowering her voice. "You really want to make a scene? The HOA won't take kindly to someone calling the cops over a misunderstanding." I let out a bitter laugh. "A misunderstanding? My lock is broken, my ATV's damaged, and your daughter is acting like she owns the neighborhood." Chloe snorted. "I do own it. Well, kinda. My mom runs the HOA. You think anyone's gonna arrest me?" That was it. I hit call. Karen's tone shifted instantly. "Put that phone down," she demanded. "We can handle this privately." "I'm done handling things privately," I said, stepping away. "Every time something goes wrong, you hide behind your HOA title like it's a badge. Well, let's see what happens when the real authorities get involved." Karen's jaw tightened, but for the first time, she didn't have a comeback. I looked at Chloe, still sitting on my ATV, arms crossed. "Enjoy your last joyride," I said coldly, "because next time it'll be in a police report." She rolled her eyes again, but I could see it. A flicker of fear beneath the smugness. The cops were on their way, and for once, Karen couldn't HOA her way out of it. I stood in that driveway, the morning sun rising behind me, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel powerless. I was done being quiet, done letting people like her walk all over the rules. This wasn't just about an ATV anymore. It was about drawing a line, and this time it was my turn to enforce it. It didn't take long. Barely 15 minutes after I called, the faint wail of a police siren rolled down the street. The sound alone made Karen's perfectly rehearsed smirk waver. She turned toward her daughter, whispering something under her breath. I could only imagine it was a last-minute, act-innocent speech. The patrol car pulled up and parked right at the curb in front of Karen's pristine hydrangea bushes. 2 officers stepped out. Officer Daniels, the calm and observant one, and Officer Ruiz, who had that no-nonsense look like he'd seen every kind of neighborhood drama before breakfast. "Morning," Daniels said, glancing between us. "We got a report about stolen property?" "That would be me," I said, pointing toward the ATV still sitting in the driveway. "That's mine. It was locked up behind my house, and I found the lock broken and the ATV here." Ruiz walked over, crouching near the broken lock I'd brought as evidence. "You're saying she took it?" he asked, nodding toward Chloe. Chloe still sat on the ATV, phone in hand, typing away as if this was beneath her. Without even looking up, she said, "I didn't steal it. I was just borrowing it for a bit. My mom said it's fine." Karen immediately stepped forward, arms crossed, voice sugary sweet. "Officers, this is clearly a misunderstanding. My daughter wasn't stealing anything. She was just taking it for a quick ride around the block. You know how kids are." Ruiz stood up, expression neutral but unimpressed. "Ma'am, this ATV belongs to your neighbor, correct?" Karen nodded reluctantly. "Yes, but like I said, she was—" "Then that's not borrowing," Ruiz cut in flatly. "That's unauthorized use of property. Some might call it theft." Karen blinked, lips parting slightly. She clearly hadn't expected that. Chloe finally put her phone down, sighing loudly. "This is ridiculous. It's not like I stole it. I was just having fun. Everyone's so dramatic." Ruiz raised an eyebrow. "You broke a lock to get it, miss?" "I didn't break it," she shot back. "It was already like that." I couldn't help but laugh. The kind of laugh that's half disbelief, half exhaustion. It was brand new as of last week. You can even see where it was cut. Daniels examined the lock again. "Yeah, this wasn't wear and tear. That's a clean bolt cut." Karen's fake smile cracked. "Well, I'm sure there's some misunderstanding. Maybe someone else broke the lock and my daughter just happened to—" "Mom, stop," Chloe interrupted, rolling her eyes. "You're making it sound worse." Ruiz crossed his arms. "Miss, did you or did you not take this vehicle without permission?" Chloe glared at him. "Do you even know who my mom is?" That sentence, the tone, the arrogance, froze everyone for a moment. Ruiz tilted his head slightly, then gave the faintest smirk. "Ma'am, last I checked, your mother's not my supervisor." Karen gasped. "Officer, there's no need for sarcasm." Ruiz nodded slowly. "You're right. There's also no need for breaking locks and taking vehicles, but here we are." The entire block had started to watch. Curtains fluttered, phones peeked out from behind mailboxes. The perfect HOA community was getting a front row seat to Karen's downfall, and she knew it. Her cheeks flushed red as whispers spread from porch to porch. Karen stepped closer to me, lowering her voice to a venomous hiss. "You're doing this on purpose. You're humiliating us." I met her gaze. "You did that yourselves." Daniels turned toward me. "Sir, can you verify ownership? Registration, photos, anything with a VIN match?" "Yeah," I said, pulling up the pictures on my phone, one from last week when I'd cleaned it. The license plate and serial number matched perfectly. Ruiz nodded, then looked at Chloe. "You know, in our book, that's theft of a motor vehicle. Pretty serious stuff." Chloe smirked. "You wouldn't arrest me. I'm a minor." Ruiz chuckled. 17? That's old enough for juvenile court. Trust me, you'd rather not find out how that feels." For the first time, I saw it. The fear flicker in Chloe's confident mask. She looked at her mom, eyes wide. "Mom, tell them to stop." Karen was already shaking, trying to regain control. "Officers, please. Let's not escalate this. We can pay for any damages. There's no need for an arrest." Ruiz didn't flinch. "Theft over $500 is a felony. Damage to property and breaking locks adds to it. We're just following the law, the same law that applies to everyone else." Daniels took out his notepad. "We'll need a statement from you, sir, and we'll be impounding the vehicle for evidence. Once that's processed, you'll get it back." Karen gasped again, stepping in front of them. "Impound it? This is insane. This is a respectable neighborhood. You can't just take it away." Ruiz gave her a calm but cold look. "Ma'am, step aside." That single command, quiet, firm, absolute, silenced her. The officers moved toward the ATV, and Chloe, still fuming, muttered, "You're gonna regret this." I smiled faintly. "No, I don't think I will." The officers loaded the ATV, filled out a report, and promised to follow up. Before they left, Ruiz turned to me. "You did the right thing, sir. Don't let people like that intimidate you." As the patrol car drove off, Karen stood frozen on her driveway, the HOA queen stripped of her power. Chloe stormed inside, slamming the door so hard it rattled the porch lights. For the first time in a long while, the street was silent, peaceful. But something told me Karen wouldn't let it go that easily. And I was right. The storm wasn't over yet. It was just gathering strength. For 2 days after the incident, the neighborhood felt like a ghost town. No HOA gossip emails, no lawn complaints, not even the usual morning wave from Mrs. Peterson across the street. It was like everyone collectively decided to hold their breath, waiting to see what Karen would do next. And of course, Karen did something. I was in my garage, cleaning up a few tools, when I saw her marching down the street. Same beige pantsuit, oversized sunglasses, and that signature stride, fast, furious, and fake confident. She had a clipboard in hand and a stack of papers tucked under her arm. I sighed. Here we go. She stopped right at the edge of my driveway, not daring to step on it, probably afraid it would count as trespassing after last time. "Good afternoon," she said stiffly. "I'm here on behalf of the HOA board." "Good afternoon," I echoed, leaning on the workbench. "Let me guess. You're filing a noise complaint against my silence?" Her jaw tightened, but she forced a smile. "Cute. Actually, I'm here to inform you that the board has decided to open an investigation into your conduct within the community." "My conduct?" I raised an eyebrow. "You mean the part where I called the police because your daughter stole my property?" Karen ignored that. "There have been multiple complaints about aggression, harassment, and creating an unsafe environment for other residents." "Let me guess," I said again. "All those complaints came from you." She blinked. "That's irrelevant. What matters is that you've disrupted the peace of this community by involving law enforcement. You could have handled this privately." "Privately?" I laughed. "You mean by letting your daughter get away with a felony?" Karen's voice sharpened. "Watch your words. My daughter is a minor, and I will not tolerate you slandering her." I crossed my arms. "Then maybe she shouldn't have stolen an ATV." Her fake smile dropped completely. "You don't understand how this works. You're new here. The HOA takes care of its own. I've already spoken with the local precinct, and they understand this was a misunderstanding. The report will be revised." Now that made me pause. "Revised?" She nodded proudly. "Yes, I have friends in City Hall, and my husband's firm has handled their contracts before. Chloe will not face any charges. It's over." I took a slow step toward her. "Karen, you're trying to tamper with a police report?" Her tone was dripping with superiority. "It's not tampering. It's networking. You'll learn that someday if you want to stay in this neighborhood." I couldn't help but grin, that dangerous, "you've just made a mistake" grin. "Actually," I said, pulling my phone out, "I recorded that." Her smile vanished. You... what? I held the phone up. Yeah, everything you just said, about using your connections to influence a police case. That's obstruction of justice, Karen. Her face drained of color. Delete it. Now. I pocketed the phone. Nope. She pointed her clipboard at me like it was a weapon. If you post that anywhere, I'll sue you for defamation. I shrugged. Defamation only applies when something's false. Karen turned on her heel, muttering something about lawyers and repercussions as she stormed back to her house. I thought that would be the end of it. But Karen didn't just fight fair. She fought dirty. That night, my phone buzzed with a flood of texts from neighbors. Hey, is it true you threatened Chloe? Why did the police take your ATV? Did you steal something? Karen said you falsified a report to get them in trouble. I nearly dropped my phone in disbelief. She was spinning the entire thing around, again. I went online, straight to the HOA community page, and sure enough, there it was, a long post from Karen L. torn a board chair. We regret to inform residents that there has been an unfortunate misunderstanding involving a neighbor and a minor. The board is taking steps to ensure this community remains safe and welcoming. Please refrain from spreading rumors or harassing any residents. We expect all members to show respect toward families with children. The comments were full of passive-aggressive support. Thank you, Karen, for protecting our kids. Some people just don't belong in gated communities. Always drama with the new folks. I just sat there staring at the screen, furious but oddly calm. I knew exactly what she was doing, damage control. But she didn't realize something crucial. I had proof. The next morning, I went down to the police station with the recording, the community post, and the HOA investigation notice. Officer Ruiz was there. He took one look at the papers and sighed. She really tried to play the HOA card, huh? Yup, I said. She said she had the report revised. He raised an eyebrow. Well, that's about to become a bigger problem for her than the theft itself. By the end of that week, the tables turned completely. The local precinct opened an official inquiry into potential interference with an ongoing investigation. HOA board members were called for questioning, and word spread faster than a wildfire in July. Karen's smile disappeared from the neighborhood entirely. Her usual morning walks? Gone. Her decorative flags? Taken down. Even her perfect hedges started to wilt. Or maybe she just didn't have time to water them anymore. But Chloe? She still strutted around like she was above it all. Until the next weekend, when the police car pulled up again. And this time, it wasn't for me. The sound of police tires crunching against the HOA's spotless pavement was something you didn't hear often, not unless it was for a suspiciously untrimmed hedge or a garage door left open too long. But this time, it was serious. It was Saturday morning, the kind where the air smelled like fresh-cut grass and overpriced fertilizer. I was out front, polishing the ATV that had just been returned to me from the impound lot. The officer who brought it back even chuckled, saying, "You're the guy from the HOA case, right? Word's going around about that video." I just smiled. Yeah, that's me. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Karen's front door swing open. She was still in her robe, hair half done, shouting something unintelligible toward her driveway. Her daughter Chloe came stumbling out, wearing sunglasses, messy hair, and an expression that could curdle milk. Behind them, two uniformed officers stood calmly by the sidewalk. One held a clipboard, the other adjusted his body cam. Karen was waving her arms like she was conducting an orchestra of denial. "This is outrageous! You have no right to be here! She's just a child!" The officer nodded patiently. "Ma'am, she's 17, old enough to be charged under state property law. We're here to execute a warrant for her arrest in connection with the theft and destruction of private property." Karen gasped like someone had thrown cold water on her. "Warrant? That's absurd! We handled this internally. The HOA already settled the matter." The officer glanced at me, then back at her. "That's not how the law works, ma'am." Chloe rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. "Can we just get this over with? This is such a joke. Chloe! Karen snapped, clutching her arm. Don't say another word! But it was too late. Chloe was already running her mouth. He's the one making a big deal out of nothing. She pointed at me, voice cracking. I borrowed it. Everyone borrows stuff around here. The officer didn't even blink. Borrowing implies permission. Did you have it? Chloe scoffed. No, but... That'll be all, the officer interrupted, motioning her toward the car. Karen lunged forward. You're not taking her anywhere. I'll call my lawyer. You should, the officer said simply, guiding Chloe toward the cruiser. The neighborhood was watching. Every curtain, every window, every set of blinds had a pair of eyes behind it. Neighbors who used to wave politely at Karen were now peeking out, whispering. Mrs. Peterson even came out with her little dog, pretending to walk it, but everyone knew she was just there for the show. Chloe started yelling, This is so unfair. You can't do this to me. My mom knows people. Karen tried to chase after the car as it pulled away, shouting, We'll sue! We'll sue all of you! But her voice cracked halfway through. For the first time, she didn't sound powerful. She sounded small. That afternoon, the HOA's group chat was on fire. Screenshots of Karen's meltdown circulated like wildfire. Memes were made. Someone even posted a still from the doorbell camera footage captioned, HOA, helping officers arrive. Even the board members started distancing themselves. The vice chair released a carefully worded statement. The HOA does not condone the actions of any member regardless of position. Personal matters are to be handled through proper legal channels. Translation. Karen, you're on your own. By evening, Karen's perfect front lawn looked like it had aged 10 years overnight. The HOA logo flag was gone. The flowerbed sign that once read Home of the Month had been quietly removed. A few days later, I got a knock on the door. It was Officer Ruiz, the same guy from before. He handed me a folder and smiled. Figured you'd want to see this. Case is wrapped up. The DA's filing juvenile charges, and your ATV's officially cleared as evidence. Appreciate it, I said, flipping through the pages. What about Karen? He chuckled. Well, let's just say, trying to manipulate a police report didn't go unnoticed. She's looking at a hefty fine and possibly losing her HOA position. Guess being untouchable doesn't mean much anymore. I couldn't help but laugh. Karma came fast this time. He smirked. Lightning speed. After he left, I sat on the porch with a cold drink, watching the sun dip behind the houses. For the first time since moving into this neighborhood, it was peaceful. No noise complaints. No surprise. Inspections. No HOA emails signed, warm regards, Karen. Just quiet. A week later, the for sale sign appeared in front of Karen's house. Rumor was her husband finally got tired of the drama and decided to relocate. The HOA voted in a new chair, a calm older guy named Leonard who promised no more personal vendettas. The neighborhood slowly returned to normal. Kids played in driveways again. People waved at each other. And me? I finally started to feel like I actually belonged here. Sometimes I'd see the new family moving into Karen's old house, cheerful, friendly, and blissfully unaware of the chaos that used to live there. And I'd think back to that day when Karen's daughter had screamed, "You can't do this to me, I'm untouchable!" Turns out everyone's touchable when they think the rules don't apply to them. I patted the ATV's hood and grinned. Welcome back, buddy. We earned this peace.